do something wrong, or it will fall on them? Is it a force? Is
Yes,
it obeying by force?
exactly. This is a good question. So some people say, if Allah is making them obedient by force, then what's the value? So the answer is that they are not forced philosophically in the sense that they had no free will. Sometimes, for example, I take hand of someone and sign something. This person has no role. Or I take hand of someone and, for example, take him to the masjid and force him to do salat. This has no value. But sometimes there is a pressure to remove people's arrogance so that they would be humbled and decide to do the right thing. Allah can do that. So He's not taking away their free will, but He is removing arrogance which was not letting them use their free will properly. You understand? So if Allah was going to force them to be obedient like a robot, it has no value. But if Allah is warning them or humbling them so that they decide to become obedient, that's okay.
Jazakallah.
May Allah bless
I
you.
have another question that
Yes.
like when it says like you kill yourself, and you mentioned that it's literally like taking a knife and going and killing each other or killing them
Yeah.
own self.
One
But
interpretation.
killing is not an answer for anything. So it's actually maybe the desires or your lower nafs that you kill.
That is the mystical. That's mystical interpretation. To say, kill yourself, meaning killing your nafs. But this is not compatible with al-ma'na al-zahiri. We should go with the linguistic rules. Yeah. According to linguistic rules, must be killing yourself, literally killing. But yourself can be some of you, because they are from yourself. Yeah, means in the same nation, the criminal, the guilty people should be killed. But who should execute this? Musa is not going to kill them, because if Musa was going to kill them, then they would all develop, and their children later all develop, hatred towards Musa. They made this mess, and they should themselves sort it out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But as I said, it could be also that some of them should kill the most, vicious ones. That can also be possible. But some hadiths suggest the first one, that they had to kill themselves. And this also seems to be the only case in the history that this has happened. We don't know of such thing before Musa alayhi salam and Bani Israel and afterwards. So Allah had some great favors upon them, but also when they go wrong and they become arrogant, some great punishment. Because this is, you're welcome. You're welcome. This is the rule that Allah said to Isa alayhi salam when He said, "Anzil alayna min as-sama'i ma'ida." Please send a, banquet, as Hawariyun had requested. Allah said, "Inni munazziluha alaykum," or munziluha. You can check. I'm going to send it down. But faman yakfur ba'du. If someone is ungrateful afterwards, فَإِنِّي أُعَذِّبُهُ عَذَابًا لَا أُعَذِّبُ أَحَدًا. Then my punishment would be exceptional. So if you receive favors exceptionally, then if you do wrong, your punishment will be also exceptional. Yeah?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Same with the Prophet's wife too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sheikh, for
My
your
pleasure.
response to the question.
You're welcome.
Sheikh, now we have some written questions, but
Yes.
I will maybe start from the question of Brother Mubarak because I think it's related to this question. It says, is the tawbah that is mentioned in the verse, was it something that happened before or after the killing?
It started before, but its completion depended on this. It was not just feeling sorry and saying astaghfirullah. This was also part of the tawbah. Like, for example, if I have not said my salat and I do tawbah, then part of it is I should do qaza. Or if there is haqqun nas, I do tawbah, I say astaghfirullah, but then I have to also give rights of people back to them. So this is a completion of tawbah.
Thank you, Sheikh.
You're welcome.
I will read the question from Sister Ruqayya now. Assalamu alaikum, dear Sheikhna.
Alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
May Allah bless you for yet another enlightening session. The question is, it seems on many occasions Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has enforced tawbah on Bani Israel when they went astray. How do we understand this with regards to la ikraha fil deen?
I think this is similar to what Sister Firdaus asked.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we can move on to a question from Brother Hassan Qadim. Salamun alaikum, dear Sheikh.
Alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
I wanted to ask you about the sin of worshipping the golden calf. Is this sin one which will not be forgiven by Allah because it is shirk? Is there a way for anyone to perform tawbah from shirk, knowing that there is a verse that says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives all sins except the performance of shirk?
Yeah. إن الله لا يغفر أن يشرك به ويغفر ما دون ذلك لمن يشاء. Allah does not forgive shirk, but forgives anything lower than that. But that is without tawbah. Without tawbah, He may forgive major sins, except shirk. But with tawbah, even shirk can be forgiven. Like pagans who became Muslims, like Abu Zar, for example, other Muslims, early Muslims, many of them were worshipping idols. They were forgiven. But this is different. Sometimes someone was an idol worshipper, Prophet came, they repented, they became believers. This can be forgiven. But sometimes, like Bani Israel, you are so much blessed by Allah, favored by Allah. Allah has just miraculously saved you from Pharaoh and his army by giving you a passage, safe passage in the sea. And then you start worshipping idol. Here is not enough to say astaghfirullah rabbi wa atubu ilayh. This is different from mushrikeen before Islam. They didn't have all these prophets with them. They didn't have all these miracles. They didn't, see how sea can be divided and passage can be given. All those miracles that we said, happened before that. So this tawbah needs some severe punishment. Why? Not because Allah needs this, because the level of darkness, impurity here is very high. Yeah. Sometimes you wash something just with water. Sometimes you have to put in water detergent. Sometimes you have to put it in hot water and boil it so that the dirt and germs go away. Yeah, sometimes you have to sterilize it. So it depends on the level of impurity.
Thank you, Sheikhna, for your insights.
You're welcome.
Sheikhna, I will also follow up. I will read a follow-up question from Brother Hassan Qadim.
Yes.
The question is there a symbolic way to explain the sin of the golden calf in which we may fall into as Muslims? For example, if we chase a lofty position at work, which pays a lot, but it may make us forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is that a way to explain the lesson we should take from this story?
Yes, we can. Yeah. So anything that drives us away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a kind of shirk. You don't need to literally worship idol like those who worship the calf, but if for the sake of money, for the sake of power, position, I don't obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is shirk. So we have to be careful. We shouldn't just wait, for example, say, okay, if a Samari comes and makes the calf, I am not going to worship it. Yes, this may not happen in history again, but there can be many similar things. Even sometimes, maybe you can be yourself Samari, deceiving others. May Allah inshallah save us. We are not immune. We have to be very careful, especially those who have influence, like scholars, like leaders, politicians. They can be summary of this time.
Thank you very much, Sheikhna.
May Allah bless you.
We just received a question from Sister Arifa Suleiman. Salam, Sheikh. Did the shadow of the mountain and the extent of God's signs make the people realize the great sins?
The shadow made them afraid that if they don't obey, they will be punished. So they were thinking that either we should continue our life with humility, or if we want to be disobedient and arrogant, we may end up losing our life.
Thank you, Sheikhna, for all your time and teaching, Sheikhna.
My pleasure, thank you.
So I'll maybe ask